This is the newsroom for today, Tuesday, February 16, 2021. We're broadcasting to you on E1, Scar TV, NTN, and Tarzi TV in Bartica. In the headlines, the hunt continues for 4 dangerous criminals who escaped from the Mashramani prison in Region 7. A GDF rank who is the father of 2 young children dies in a head-on collision in Sophia.
Everybody is in mourning shock because he's a guy, he always with a lot of luck.
30 companies are interested in designing the bridge to connect Guyana and Suriname. In tonight's feature, we tell you about Guyana's first hydro dipping center called Dirty Dips. And in sport, limited number of spectators expected for drag race meet, and Olympic hopeful Emmanuel Archibald impressive at AAG development meet. With the news, I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for joining us. We started by telling you that 4 high-profile inmates who were serving sentences relating to murder and manslaughter escaped from the Mashramani prison in Region 7, Kayuni Mazaruni, on Tuesday morning and are still at large up to press time. The Guyana Police Force, in its efforts to recapture the inmates, is appealing to members of the public, relatives and friends to give any relevant information as to the whereabouts of these escapees so that they can be recaptured and returned to prison. Kurt Campbell joins us.
Hours after 4 high-profile inmates escaped from the Mashramani prison in Region 7 on Tuesday morning, the Guyana Prison Service released a statement in which it briefly hinted at the security breach that led to the escape. The Prison Service confirmed that the incident occurred at about 7 hours 15 during the unlocking of the solitary division. It was reportedly observed that the padlock to the entrance gate was tampered with. Further checks revealed that 2 bars from within the cells were cut. A joint patrol was established at the outer perimeter of the prison, and a search has been launched by the joint services to recapture the 4 escapees. Water, air and land patrol are currently being conducted. The escapees have been identified as Imran Ramsarak, Kenrick Light, Samuel Gavaya and Rayon Jones. The police have since issued wanted bulletins for the men who will now face an escaping from lawful custody charge. Ramsarak and Light were condemned to prison and sentences for murder, while Gavaya and Jones are serving sentences for manslaughter. The Guyana Police Force, in its efforts to recapture the inmates, is appealing to members of the public, relatives and friends to give any relevant information as to the whereabouts of the escapees so that they can be recaptured and returned to prison. An appeal was also made to the escapees to surrender to the police or relevant authority to avoid any serious confrontation that is likely to result in the use of force. The police said all information will be treated with a high degree of confidence, and also the rights of those escapees will be respected and upheld. Anyone with information that may lead to the arrest of Imran Ramsarak, Kenrick Light, Samuel Gavaya and Ryan Jones is asked to contact the police on telephone numbers 455-2238, 455-2222, 455-2241, 226-4585, 225-2700, 225-3650, 226-1326, 911 or the nearest police station.
Now, local authorities were on Tuesday still trying to locate and recover the vessel containing bodies. The vessel was first spotted drifting some 112 nautical miles from the Georgetown coast on Monday. Reliable sources told the newsroom that a vessel was only secured from a private operator on Tuesday afternoon to go in search of the boat with the bodies. It is yet to be determined how many bodies are in the boat. The Guyana Defense Force conducted a reconnaissance to locate the vessel on Tuesday morning. The Minister of Home Affairs, Robson Ben, had previously told Newsroom that the boat with the bodies was being towed in to shore by a tug and would have arrived in the wee hours of Tuesday. A statement from the Ministry of Public Works noted that the Maritime Emergency Rescue Coordination Center was operationalized and international partners were also contacted to collaborate on the response and for information sharing. The statement noted that the origin of the vessel and the nationality of the persons aboard are unknown. A father of 2 young children, a 4-year-old girl and a 2-month-old baby boy, was killed after he collided head-on with a motorcycle at Plum Park, Sophia, Georgetown on Monday night. A resident of Plum Park who was driving the motorcycle also received injuries and is now hospitalized. Isanella Patwa joins us now.
28-year-old Leroy Hercules of Dorban Street, Georgetown and Ichuni Region 10 was a serving member of the Guyana Defense Force for the past 9 years. At the time of the accident at around 19:30 hours on Monday, he was driving a motorcycle and crashed into a 29-year-old Plum Park resident when he attempted to swerve from a load of sand on the road. Both Hercules and the resident were picked up by public-spirited persons and taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where Hercules was pronounced dead while the resident was admitted. One of Hercules' nieces, Angelica Duke, told the newsroom that he suffered a broken neck and internal injuries. She said he was not wearing a helmet at the time of the accident, and so she believes he would still be alive today if he was wearing one.
He never liked helmet. I mean, you're supposed to. I don't know what's it with these young people these times. I mean, they always say, oh, I's a Batman and I's this, and me wearing no helmet, me frighten police. But for me, helmet is protection. So whoever's out there is listening, helmet is not for you to show off. Helmet is for protection. Maybe if he had wearing helmet, I think in more cases than one, at least a 60-40 chance, he probably would have lived.
Duke said the family remains in shock as they described him as the baby of the family. He was the youngest of 12 siblings.
But one thing for sure, he always get me to do anything for him because I love him that much. He was that dear to me. So hearing of the accident, I could not have believed until I see him for myself. Yes, I had to get some support from family because it was heart-rending. Everybody is in mourning shock because he's a guy, he always with a lot of luck. So having a death news was shocking and unbelievable.
Hercules' fiancée, Tamika Edmondson, who is also the mother of his 2-month-old baby, was too distraught to speak with the media. Hercules also leaves to mourn a 4-year-old daughter. A post-mortem examination is expected to be done on Wednesday. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Isanella Pato. Back to you, Avinash.
Thank you, Isanella. Now, a rape report has been filed with the police against a serving member of the Guyana Police Force. The incident is alleged to have taken place on February 15, 2021 at Kumako, Maruka in the Northwest District at around 0:30, the force said in a statement on Tuesday. The police statement noted that on February 14 at around 16 hours, the alleged victim was consuming alcohol at a shop situated at Kumako waterfront with some friends when the accused joined. Some 6 hours later, the party moved to another location and they continued imbibing. Hours later, just after midnight, the woman alleged that she became intoxicated and was escorted to her house by the policeman and a female friend who then left her alone in the company of the accused. The victim further stated that she woke up in a semi-conscious state and realized she was on her veranda lying on her back naked while the cop was naked on top, raping her. She pushed him off and raised an alarm which alerted the household. The cop escaped. A report was filed to the police and the accused has since been placed under close arrest. Investigations are ongoing. 19-year-old Dakara Gittins tragically died on Valentine's Day in an accident on Homestretch Avenue, Georgetown, that also took the life of 21-year-old mother of one, Tonika Halley. Dakara's sister, Datika Gittins, described her little brother as a loving, content, and peaceful person. Daniel Swain reports.
Dakira, he was 19 years of age. Very loving. I don't know, like he was just different from the rest. He was very contented. Any little small thing, he would just accept. Nothing won't bother him. Very peaceful.
That was the voice of Datika Gritton, the sister of Dakira Gritton, who died in the horrific accident on Homestretch Avenue on Sunday last. She spoke with the newsroom on Monday, just after she collected the results of her brother's post-mortem, which stated that the 19-year-old died from internal injuries. Datika recalled their final interaction before Dakira left to attend a barbecue in South Rhineville, Georgetown. He was seeking her approval of his outfit.
Well, I was away in Barbies for last week, the entire of last week, and I came home Saturday. When I came home Saturday, he's the one that opened the door for me after 1 o'clock. So the night time, I bathed and I went to bed. I was just lying there on my phone. And he came and he knocked at my door and he was like, Tika, I would like to see your face. I want to ask you something. And he was trying to put on my bedroom light. And I was like, if you want to ask me something, you don't have to put on the bedroom light. Harry, no, I want to see your face, man. So when he do get the bedroom light on, he came at my bedside and he was like, Tika, how I look? Tell me how I look, man. And I was like, you look good, man, you could pass. And he walked out of the bedroom and forgot to take off the lights. I called him back and I tell him, take off the lights for me, man. And that was it.
Datika shared that if she knew that was the last moment she would have seen her brother, she would have hugged him. Tragically, early Sunday morning, her mother received a call that would change their lives forever.
Around 1:19 a.m. Sunday morning, one of his friends called my mother's phone, and I heard my mother was like, Ma was tripping, is she really telling me boy? Because she thought it was a boy called her, which was a girl. So she was like, what's tripping, is she really telling me, man? Don't give me this news now. Don't tell me this now. So she throw the phone to my father and tell him, look, answer and see what the boy really saying. So she came outside screaming, and I run outside and I said, Mom, what is it? What is it? She said, oh, somebody just called and said that the Kira died. He's on home stretch. They're dead. I was so shocked. I don't know. My brains got so mixed up. I couldn't find clothes nor nothing. But my father, he just put on his clothes and run out the house. And I put on a skirt and a hoodie. And I ran out the house behind him as well, because my mother couldn't go at that scene to see that. So I had to be there to support her.
Details of the accident garnered from the police report state that the motor car was proceeding west in the northern direction of Homestretch Avenue at a fast rate when the driver lost control and crashed into a utility pole. The motor car toppled several times and ended up in a trench. All occupants were removed from the vehicle and taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC, with the help of public-spirited citizens. Dakira Gritton was pronounced dead, and Tanika Hawley succumbed to her injuries while receiving medical attention. The other persons received injuries to various parts of their bodies and were admitted to the GPHC. Troy Glenn and Delvan Luthers remain hospitalized, whilst Joel Rose was discharged on Sunday. Dakira leaves to mourn his mother, father, and 2 sisters.
Tell you the honest truth, it's only 3 of us. My other sister, Dakira, was the only boy. Only 19, started working the other day. He was now trying to get something done for himself. And to know that he's now trying to make his parents proud and this happened, like, I don't know what to say. My mother, she's restless right now. If somebody's not with her, she's going to keep crying all the time. And my father, I would say he's very strong, because to know that your only son died and you went there to see how he was lying on that ground and thing, I praise that man.
A breathalyzer was administered on the 19-year-old driver of the car, and no trace of alcohol was found. The driver, who was not named in the police report, is assisting police with investigations. This is Danielle Swain, reporting for the Newsroom.
30 companies are interested in designing the bridge to connect Guyana and Suriname. The Attorney General tells Sevon's Waste Management, Inc. to vacate the lands it leased from the Lands and Surveys, and persons cannot use the COVID-19 vaccination card to bypass travel restrictions. Those and more when the Newsroom returns. Stay tuned. This is the Newsroom. Sevon's Waste Management, Inc. and the government of Guyana seem to be heading to court as a legal battle has ensued over what the government says is the illegal leasing of lands to the company. The lands, which belong to the National Sports Commission, was leased to Sevon's in 2018 by the Guyana Lands and Survey Commission. Kurt Campbell joins us with the details.
Although being the holder of a 50-year lease and with construction well advanced on a new building, Sevon's Waste Management Inc. has been asked by the government of Guyana to vacate the plot of land the government claims it illegally rented. In a letter to the company's chief executive officer on Tuesday, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal said that Sevon's nor any of its subleases have any right to use or occupy the plot of land. The land belongs to the National Sports Commission, something Nandlal says Sevon's is well aware of. The land was leased to Sevon's in 2008 by the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission. Nandlal says that despite a substantial amount of money being paid for the lease, it was illegal on several fronts. Nandlal said that although a substantial amount of money was paid for the lease, it was illegal on several fronts. In his letter, the AG reminded Sevon's that the company had previously held a purported lease from the Georgetown Mayor and City Council for the same land, which had to be voided because the legal title for the land did not belong to the DC. Similarly, the Lands and Surveys Commission had no legal authority to lease the land. To this end, Nandlal said the transaction was unlawful, null void, and of no effect, as is the Memorandum of Understanding signed between the company and the Lands and Surveys Commission. That MOU contained the promise to sell the land. Nandlal also noted that the former Lands and Surveys Commission's boss had no lawful authority to make such a promise for sale. He said such power resided with the President of Guyana and was never delegated to the Commissioner. As a consequence, the Attorney General further noted that subleases to To All Guyanese Inc. and Quorum Restaurants Holding Inc. are also unlawful. The Attorney General reasoned that with the entire transaction being done without the knowledge of the rightful owner of the lands, the National Sports Commission simply compounds the impropriety and illegality with which the transaction was done. Nandlal said the Sports Commission plans to use the lands for the development of sports and the construction of facilities. Should Sivons fail to remove, the AG threatened that legal proceedings will be filed and the matter will be reported to the Criminal Investigation Department for investigation and the laying of criminal charges.
Now, Guyana will not be allowing persons vaccinated against COVID-19 to bypass the strict travel regulations, and the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, on Tuesday made it clear that persons desirous of traveling would still be required to present a negative PCR test. The minister explained that scientists and experts remain uncertain whether the vaccines can prevent the transmission of the virus. Isanella Patwa reports.
Guyana began its COVID immunization on February 11th with a donation of 3,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine from Barbados. This is currently being administered to some 1,400 frontline health workers who are required to take 2 doses of the vaccines. The second dose is given 4 to 12 weeks after the first. However, the Health Minister, Dr. Frank Anthony, noted that a decision was made to increase that to between 8 to 12 weeks. This, according to studies by the World Health Organization (WHO), has shown to increase the efficacy of the vaccines. Once persons complete the first dose of the vaccine, they are given a vaccination card, but according to the health minister, this will not be used as a passport to travel.
And you'll get your card with you. Now, even if you're immunized, you still would be required to do a PCR test. And the reason being is that as you would know, when we talk about the efficacy of the vaccine, there's still, if none of the vaccines are 100% efficacious, which means that it doesn't prevent 100% of the infection. Therefore, that small percentage that is there, people can get infected. The bottom line here is even if you have received your 2 shots, you would still need to do a PCR tests if you're traveling to another country.
Meanwhile, in terms of the immunization database, the minister assured that a strict and confidential system is ongoing. The data is being compiled both manually and electronically.
So when we give you an injection, we are actually stating from which batch you got it, the date of expiry, and a whole host of other information goes on the information that we collect, and then who received it. So if perchance there's any side effect, we can go back and trace which vial this vaccine actually came from, and if there's something wrong with that batch and so forth.
Guyana is expected to receive thousands of doses of additional vaccines by the end of the month from China, the COVAX facility, and through the African Union CARICOM agreement. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Isanella Patwa.
Guyana and Suriname have inched one step closer to the realization of the long-touted Quarantine River Bridge. Companies from 18 countries from across the world, including the United States of America, Dubai, China, and neighboring Brazil, have put forward their expressions of interest. Kurt Campbell joins us now.
30 companies have expressed interest in the consultancy services for conducting a feasibility study and detailed design for the construction of a bridge across the Quarantine River connecting Guyana and Suriname. According to a statement from the Ministry of Public Works, companies from the Netherlands, Turkey, United States of America, Korea, Brazil, Mexico, Japan, Italy, India, Spain, Suriname, the Philippines, Canada, Dubai, China, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, and Lebanon have submitted proposals. Some of the proposals submitted were for joint ventures. Subject Minister Juan Echel, having received the report of the submissions of the expressions of interest, expressed great satisfaction and is heartened by both the number of responses and how wide the geographical spread of interest is, as was seen in the scope of countries that bid. The release quoted the minister as saying, "It is clear that the world is interested in Guyana and its development. People want to participate, invest, and have a stake. This is good for both countries." Through the bilateral cooperation agreement signed with Suriname, through a joint process, the successful bidder will be selected. The ministry said it expects this process to be advanced swiftly as both Guyana and Suriname are committed to the finalization of this project. And back in November 2020, Guyana's President Irfan Ali and Suriname's President Chandrika Prasad Santokhi finalized agreements to advance the proposal for the construction of a new bridge across the Currentine River. The agreement was signed at the Presidential Palace in Paramaribo by Guyana's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, UTAD, and his Surinamese counterpart, Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Business and International Politics, Albert Ramdin.
Thank you, Kurt. We tell you now that the former President and long-serving Prime Minister Samuel Hines has confirmed that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation has written to the authorities in the United States to officially appoint him as ambassador to the U.S. Speaking with the Newsroom on Tuesday, Hines referred to the leak of his appointment and noted that it was premature. As he explained, even though Guyana's Foreign Ministry has officially written to the U.S., no agreement has been returned, which is the agreement by a state to receive members of a diplomatic mission from a foreign country. Hines said that the process, as he understands it, can take up to 3 months. As such, he reiterated that he will not be able to fully comment on the posting until such time that it is confirmed on both ends. The former Prime Minister noted that he is now awaiting word from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation confirming the appointment. He will replace the incumbent Riyad Insan-Ali, who has held the post since September 16, 2016. Hines, who served as president for a brief period following the death of President Chari Jagan in 1997, held a portfolio as Prime Minister from 1992 to 2015. The Minister of Agriculture, Zulfikar Mustafa, on Tuesday morning visited the Meadowbank Wharf in Greater Georgetown, where he interacted with fishermen and vendors and listened to their concerns relating to security, the condition of the building, and the wharf. Sheena Henry reports.
The minister decided to visit the bustling location after receiving complaints about its current state and other issues affecting those who earn a livelihood from the facility.
We will work with both the fishermen and the co-op to resolve these problems that are existing here. Now, before we collect money from anyone, we have to also provide the services. So we will try to see how we can do what we can do from our level. Right? Now, the most burning issue according to the complaints are security and the state of the building and the wharf.
Minister Mustafa had requested that representatives of the fishermen be present as the ministry will be working with them and the co-op to resolve the daily challenges they encounter.
I will see from my ministry what we can do to enhance the structure, enhance the wharf, and also look at the security aspect of this here. Those persons who are operating here, I will speak to GWI, my colleague, to see if we can have, first of all, have water. Water is very important. I will work along with GWI to restore water to this place here so that you can enjoy that, get that facility.
On February 1st, 2 women were robbed by armed bandits at the said wharf. The perpetrators escaped and no arrests have since been made. Additionally, the minister said that he will liaise with Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben to enhance security at the wharf.
I don't know who is providing security presently, but if there's any security firm providing security, we have to work with that firm, or we have to work with the stakeholders who are using this facility to put in some forms of security in this place here.
Another issue that was raised by the fishermen and vendors is the water situation at the wharf. The minister said that he will seek the intervention of Minister of Housing and Water, Colin Crowell, to provide a facility for the fishermen to access water, as their current source is a well that is privately owned.
We also have to look at the costs to maintain and run this building here. It has to be cost effective, you understand? If the services are being provided, then we have to also pay a small fee to get these services. But first of all, we have to get the facility back in order. So, yeah, so we will work with the co-op and that committee, a small committee, and bring everything together, and we'll try to enhance all the facility and all aspects of operations at this facility here.
Reporting for the Newsroom, Sheena Henry.
Still ahead on the newsroom, we tell you about Guyana's first hydro dipping center called Dirty Dips. This is the newsroom. 1 week before the country's 51st Republic anniversary, the Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Charles Ramson Jr., has announced that the customary Mashramani celebrations will be deferred and done virtually as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Daniel Swain reports.
During his community outreach and community ground assessment in Region 5 on Saturday, the Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Charles Ramson Jr., spoke about his plans for Mashramani 2021.
We have to balance, first of all, the interest of our public safety, as well as the interest of the celebration of Mashramani and our Republic Day. So there will be a Republic Day celebration. The Mashramani itself is deferred when we can do it in a much more safe environment. There will be the flag raising ceremony the night before our Republic Day, our 51st Republic Day. There will be a cultural activity, but on the night of our Republic Day, which is the 23rd, we're also going to be doing a cultural presentation that's going to be streamed and broadcasted live, a virtual event, so that we can take that celebration into the homes of people where it's safe. They can celebrate it at home as well. For some of the major events that are connected with Mashramani, that are ancillary or tangential to the core event, which is usually the float parade. The float parade obviously can't be done because of COVID. It's too high a price to pay for us to do that. And it's a logistical nightmare to even contemplate doing that.
COVID-19 has resulted in prominent carnivals and parades being scaled back or all out cancelled. Carnivals in Brazil and Trinidad and Tobago are being done virtually, and in New Orleans, no Mardi Gras parade has resulted in thousands creating house floats instead.
The events that are associated with MASH, the tangential events that are associated with MASH, like the Calypso competition, the Soca Monarch, and the Chutney, all of those are going to be done, but it's going to be done in March, and it's going to be done virtually, where we can be in a totally safe environment, where we sanitize everybody and everybody's spaced out, etc.
Last year's 50th Republic Jubilee's calendar of events, held under the theme Guyana Together, Reflect, Celebrate and Transform, included a multitude of activities like film festivals, masquerade, art, literature, fashion, and extremely popular panorama steel pan competitions, usually sponsored by Republic Bank Guyana Limited. When contacted, Michelle Johnson, Manager Marketing and Communications, Republic Bank Guyana Limited, stated that the company and the ministry have a long-standing relationship. And I quote, "We're actually waiting to hear what are their plans concerning that this year. We're in talks with them. Every year we would collaborate on how it will unfold. So we've already started those discussions, but because of the difference in how they're going to approach it this year, they have to look at all the logistics. So we're waiting to hear from them. A theme has not been announced for this year's celebrations, which will be held against the backdrop of a global pandemic. However, popular media and entertainment company Hits and Jams announced via their Facebook page on Friday their virtual Relive events with support from the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, and major companies Banks DIH Limited and Answer McCall Limited." This is Daniel Swain reporting for the newsroom.
Now, businessman Javid Rahman has expanded his repertoire of innovative skills to open the first hydro dipping center called Dirty Dips. Newsroom recently visited the Sandy Bab Street Kitty Georgetown business to gain an insight of the hydro dripping process.
Hey Guyana, I'm Javid Rahman, owner here at Dirty Dips, Guyana's first premier hydro dipping studio.
Dirty Dips has been in existence for just 2 months, and you may be wondering, what is hydro dipping? Hydro dipping, also known as immersion printing, water transfer printing, and hydro imaging, is a unique process that allows you to apply graphics to almost any three-dimensional object. This process has been used for years in the auto industry, along with many other fields.
It's a concept that has been around for a few years now. We've been seeing it on social media a lot. I always thought that it was a pretty cool concept, and I had the opportunity through a family member who started the business here a few years ago, and they were doing pretty good with it, and I had approached them about probably taking it further or taking it over. And at the time, he was looking for maybe an investor or somebody to potentially take the business to another level. So at that point in time, he decided to allow me the chance to take the business over. So after purchasing it, we became, set up here in a new studio. And now, 2 months later, we've been getting a few jobs and moving to the next level. People in Guyana love customization of cars, and we have been getting most of our jobs from car enthusiasts. So people have been coming in to do rims, hubcaps, internal and external car accessories. So from mirror caps to door handles, gas tank covers. We do center consoles, front grills. So any piece of the car that could possibly be taken off or clipped off, we can dip. The only setback at this point in time is the tank that we use to dip can't take things, let's say, as big as a door or a bonnet or even a bumper. But as we grow, we intend to invest and build a bigger tank and be able to take some of those other items. But moving past cars, we can do almost any item can be dipped. We dip cups, we dip helmets, hard hats. We even want to get into furniture now. We can dip table countertops, whether it's wood. We can dip anything wood, metal, or plastic. So we've been doing kitchen cabinets. Once it's at a size where the tank can take it, it can definitely be dipped.
While not revealing too many secrets, Rahman gave us a demonstration on how the dipping is done.
We're using carbon fiber on some internal pieces for a vehicle. First things first, we always measure out and cut out the pieces that we need. We're about to put a carbon fiber finish on an interior car piece. So we've already got the film in the water. I'm about to spray on the activator and we're about to get the dip done.
Though the look seems elaborate, the innovative businessman expressed it is quite cost effective.
You see, everything is done by size. So depending on the condition and size of the item that you want to do, at that point in time a quotation would be made. So in most cases, people usually send me a picture of an item. Let's say, for example, a hubcap. A set of hubcaps could easily be done for anywhere between 30 to 35,000 for the entire set. So it's pretty affordable, but at the same time, you get a product that's unique, it's one of a kind, and it's gonna last to all the elements, and it's gonna stand up for a long time.
Rahman can be contacted via Instagram at dirtydips_gy or on TikTok at dirtydips. For the newsroom, Akim Green.
When the newsroom returns, the financial, weather and bird reports along with sports. Welcome back to Newsroom. Now for a look at what's happening in sport. We're starting things off with some motor racing news. The Guyana Motor Racing and Sports Club's president, Ramis Mohammed, has re-emphasized that only a limited number of spectators will be allowed onto the South Dakota circuit for round 1 of the club's drag racing championships on February 28. Mohammed spoke to Akim Green earlier today.
The exact figure of how many persons will be allowed ticketed entry into the venue has not been confirmed as yet, but the club has already taken the necessary steps to reduce the amount of support staff racers would bring as part of the control mechanisms for COVID-19. There are also plans to partner with a leading local company to live stream the event for those at home and on their device.
So we have to follow certain protocols now. We're still awaiting the COVID task force to give us the permission and basically on how much people will be let into the arena. As of now, we are working with the racers, you know, putting different regulations in place, like how much pit crew will be allowed. Before you were allowed 4 or 5 pit crew, now it's only 1 at race day. You know, they have to wear their masks at all time. You know, we put in different regulations into place, but we're still awaiting the COVID task force to tell us how much spectators would be allowed into the arena. But in the meantime, you know, we setting up different things to help spectators, fans, you know, be abreast of what's going on, like live streaming. We're working now to live stream the event and have a proper MC and have him, you know, give everyone details and results live as we go.
With an extended launch pad and the other track improvements done by Team Mohammed's, the club president indicated he's expecting some record-breaking times next weekend. In June 2019, Team Mohammed's white GTR shattered the drag racing record at South Dakota Circuit. The explosion of speed was recorded at 8.099 seconds on the clock in an unchallenged race.
The launch pad was actually extended. Also, the track was resurfaced, so we did not have a chance to race on the new track or the new launch pad. A launch pad is basically, what it does is that it helps you put the power down to the ground. So like high-powered cars without the launch pad, the wheels would just keep spinning. With the launch pad now, with high-power cars, it actually allows it to put the power down to the ground, you know, get a better traction. So we expect to see, I would say, amazing timings. I personally expect the record to be broken this coming race.
Mohammed further indicated that Team Mohammed's will be out with their full fleet of cars and they should expect some stern challengers.
He's very eager to race. I know he's coming out. He's going to bring out the Lamborghini for sure. I'm going to try convince him to pull the Lamborghini down the track. We have the guy that bought the late Jai Singh Supra. He spent tons into the Supra, tons of time. His mechanic, they go through a lot of stuff together. I know they did a lot more investment into the Supra. So he's pretty sure that the Supra is going to beat Team Mohammed cars. So I asked him which one. He's like, all of them. So we're looking at that. I'm not sure if Team Trans is going to be out there with the Altiza, but I know that they're putting together another car for a lower category, maybe 10 seconds or 9 seconds. Champasan is bringing out his Caldina and, you know, his entire fleet. He's going to be out there.
Looking ahead, Mohammed remains optimistic that they will see the return of Trinidad and Tobago and Suriname to their events once the necessary travel can resume.
Well, we're working on it. Our main supporter, I would say, is Suriname and Trinidad when it comes to foreigners coming here and racing at our events. It's mostly Trinidad and Suriname. But with the ferry down and, you know, Trinidad airport has been closed ever since the COVID. It was not open as yet. So as soon as those open back, the airport open back, the ferry start working, I'm 100% sure they're going to be on board.
Some of the sponsors so far are Panko Steel, Stack Beer, E-Networks, BM Soat, Mohammed's Enterprise, KFC, Homeline Furnishing, Truck Master, Ready Mix, KGM Security, MMD Hollow Block and Plavers, Motor Trend Service Center, Unicom United Commodities, ENR J11 Printery, Sales Translation Services, Windjam International Hotel, Perms Electrical, and Secure Innovation and Concepts, among others. For the newsroom, Akim Green.
Cricket West Indies on Tuesday confirmed the all-format international tour between West Indies and Sri Lanka starting in March, signaling the return of international cricket to the Caribbean. The two teams will play 3 T20s, 3 one-day internationals and 2 test matches in a biosecure environment in Antigua from Wednesday, March 3 to Friday, April 2. The T20 International Series will create history as the first official international matches to be played by the West Indies men's team at the Coolidge Cricket Ground and the first West Indies men's T20s to be played in Antigua since 2013. As reigning ICC T20 World Cup champions, West Indies will use these matches as important preparation for the defense of their T20 World Cup title. The World T20 is scheduled to be held in India later this year. The CG Insurance ODI series will be played at the Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Stadium on March 10, 12 and 14, with the third being a day-night encounter. The CG Insurance ODIs form part of the ICC Super League, and these matches provide the opportunity for West Indies to secure their first points as the players look to qualify automatically for the 2023 ICC Cricket World Cup in India. The two test matches will be played at the same venue, with the first match starting on Sunday, March 21 and the second starting March 29, providing the West Indies with another opportunity to win points and climb the ICC World Test Championship table following the recent fantastic series win in Bangladesh. The last international West Indies men's home series featured Ireland in January last year. Since then, West Indies men have made 3 overseas tours to England, New Zealand and Bangladesh as part of the ICC's Future Tours program. As a consequence of the COVID-19 pandemic, both the West Indies and Sri Lanka will stay and play in biosecure bubbles, with all the matches being held in Antigua to accommodate a later arrival date by Sri Lanka. Fans will not be able to attend matches, but will be able to follow on television, radio and through CWI's digital channels. Now, the Olympic hopeful Emmanuel Archibald made a positive start to 2021 with impressive performances in the 100-meter and the long jump events at the Athletics Association of Guyana's development meet at the National Track and Field Center on Sunday. Akim Green reports.
The 26-year-old clocked 10.21 seconds to win the 100-meter ahead of Akeem Stewart, who had a time of 10.51 seconds, and Nolex Holder, 10.61 seconds. While he clocked a new personal best in the 100-meter, he's still off Olympic qualification time of 10.05 seconds. In the long jump, he leaped a mark of 8.10 meters, which unofficially is a world-leading jump. As of February 16th, Australia's Darcy Roper officially leads the world in the long jump with a leap of 7.96 meters set on January 26. The Olympic qualification mark is 8.22 meters. The national athlete, who's on scholarship, is hoping he can return to Jamaica soon to continue his training.
It wasn't a bad performance. I had get a PR for the first meet, so I'm very glad with the performance. But I feel I could have done better, but it's the first meet.
Looking to the next couple of months and what you're looking to do to be able to make the qualifying time for the Tokyo Games. Just where are you?
I'm right there. To open the season with a PR, the first meet at 10.21, I feel I could run at least 10.05 the next one.
National javelin record holder Leslyn Beard won his event with a distance of 77.23 meters, but still needs to reach 85 meters to qualify for the Olympics. Second went to Timothy Seeley with a throw of 49.02 meters, and third to Jonathan Vagundes with a throw of 23.18 meters.
Coming to this competition here, I was very confident. I threw above my coach expectation, which was between 73 to 75 he had given me to throw, but eventually I get 77, which is very great. First competition, Abby told me that just come out, just enjoy the competition, see where I'm at, and I get a season best, which is 77, just a meter away from my personal best and the national record, which is very good. You have to get more meat, right? More meat will give us the opportunity to show or perform more better. Right? This is the first competition. We are looking forward at least 4 to 5 more meets before senior championship, which is supposed to be April, into South America Championship, which would be May.
Impressive performances came from Ruth Sandmagan, who won the female long jump with a distance of 6.02 meters, Cleveland Thomas, who won the 1500 meters open in a time of 4 minutes 13.56 seconds, and Giovanna Cornett, who won the 200 meter open in a time of 25.41 seconds, ahead of Shakwan Daniels, who had a time of 25.93 seconds. The male open 200 meter went to Nicholas Denhart of New Amsterdam in a time of 22.07 seconds, while Ozek Pilu claimed second with 22.11 seconds, while Akeem Stewart came third with 22.56 seconds. For the newsroom, Akeem Green.
And sport has been given a major boost with $1.5 billion budgeted to facilitate development programs throughout the country. More in this report. Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh told the National Assembly during his budget presentation on Friday that of the overall amount, $915.5 million is allocated for the improvement of community grounds countrywide to expand their use as parks and create premium multi-purpose sporting facilities of international standards in regions 2, 6 and 10. Other improvements include the installation of lights in community grounds, the laying of synthetic materials at the athletics tracks in New Amsterdam and Wismar, and the upgrading of other sport facilities. The Finance Minister added that the sum of $618 million will be utilized to host tournaments, maintain sport facilities, and support select sport associations. Of this amount, $320 million is budgeted towards professional training of athletes and coaches as part of the Sport Academy program, Dr. Singh said during his 2021 budget presentation. The Subject Minister Charles Ramson Jr. has said on numerous occasions that the administration is keen on creating a pathway for the country's sportsmen and women to excel and that tournaments would be a key driver of development. Since taking office in August 2020, Minister Ramson and his team have been on several outreaches, inspecting venues and collaborating with local clubs to improve on those facilities. The minister has also been engaging in dialogue with national associations on the way forward. We tell you now that the High Court on Monday ruled that the Demerara Cricket Board election of office bearers be held on February 19, 2021. The meeting to elect the executive committee is fixed for 11 hours at the Demerara Cricket Club in Queenstown. Shortly after the ruling, though, an appeal was filed to set aside the decision. There are two agenda items: the call to order by a marshal of the High Court of the Supreme Court of Judicature and the nomination and election of a returning officer for the conduct of the election of the members of the Executive Committee of the Demerara Cricket Board. The 5 associations are mandated to submit delegates by February 17. Following the ruling on Monday by Justice Navindra Singh, 3 of the associations, the Georgetown Cricket Association, the East Coast Cricket Board and the Upper Demerara Cricket Association, were in full compliance, providing their list of delegates. The other 2 associations with voting rights are the East Bank Cricket Association and the West Demerara Cricket Association. The Georgetown Cricket Association, the East Coast Cricket Board, the East Bank Cricket Association and the West Demerara Cricket Association have 7 votes each, while the Upper Demerara Cricket Association has 3, making it a total of 31 votes at the Demerara Cricket Board elections. Now, England succumbed to an inevitable 317-run defeat by India on the 4th day of the second test in Chennai. Faced with the hopeless task of scoring 482 on a deteriorating pitch, England lost all 10 wickets to spin as they were bowled out for 164 to leave the 4-test series poised at 1-all. Only captain Joe Root provided prolonged resistance, but even he needed plenty of fortune in his 33 before Moeen Ali chanced his arm for 43 of 18. The debutant left-arm spinner Akshar Patel claimed 5 for 60, while off-spinner Ravichandran Ashwin took 3 for 53 and matched figures of 8 for 96 to go with a century in India's second innings. After 2 matches in Chennai, the series moved now to Ahmedabad, with the day-night 3rd test beginning on February 24. And with that, we have come to the end of the news for this evening. Of course, you can find updates on these and other stories on our website, Newsroom.gy, our Facebook page and Instagram. On behalf of the entire news team, my name is Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for watching. Be safe. See you next time.